Hey everybody, it's your man James, Mr. Quantum Treasures, back again with some more video action for you. Today's another one of those little clipped bits from one of my past live streams from a couple years ago when I found something in there that was kind of intriguing to me and probably one of the most thought-provoking ones I've found going through some of this old stuff of mine. And today it's going to talk about why it is that the creators are attacking the audience so much nowadays compared to years past and some of the reasoning behind that. And this all comes courtesy of a Substack article that was done by Bill Willingham, creator and writer of Fables from DC. And I really it stymied me when I read this for the first time because I couldn't believe what he was saying. It's like kind of like some inside baseball stuff, and it really gets you a feel for maybe some of the reasoning we're seeing so much of this nowadays that we didn't used to see in the past. And I just thought it was a really great bit, and so I had to speak on it, and I did. And so I hope you guys will go checking this out. Hope you'll find some insight in it. So maybe you'll learn a little something yourself. But definitely something I thought was intriguing and well worth discussing. So I hope you would check that out. And I want to thank you all for joining me today. And say if you like what you hear here, drop a like down here. How about the algorithms? If you got any thoughts of your own, please drop some comments on there. I always hear what you guys got to say about this stuff. And please subscribe if you haven't subscribed so you don't miss any of the content I'm putting out around here. And if you have subscribed, share out some links and we'll bring some new blood in and keep things growing, because that's always the goal around this place. So I want to thank you again all for joining me today, and I hope you will get something out of this, and I will be back soon with some more stuff. And until next time, take care. This is Bill Willingham. I'm a very well-known comic creator. His biggest claim to fame is Fables for DC. And he talks about why are some comic pros so damn abrasive, in which he offers his take on it. And I'll give that to you here in a bit. Here he goes. So there are some comic professionals who are cranky, abrasive, and downright insulting to their own fans. And lately they've been standing out, making even more than the usual spectacle of themselves. Many articles in the comic press and their cousins in the YouTube video game have documented the trend in these past few days. I have a theory, backed up only by anecdotal evidence, mind you, as to why this is happening and why it seems to be happening so much more in recent days, months, and years. I've been in this business more than 40 years, enough to have some perspective, and there have been cranky comic pros that whole time. I don't intend to name too many names because it isn't my intention here to take them to task, either collectively or as individuals. It is my intention to offer an insider's perspective on one of the possible reasons this may be. It's the law of fecal gravity. Put in a more earthly way, it is now and always has been the case that shit rolls downhill. Since the dawn of modern comic books, the publishers and their editor representatives have made it their business to keep the freelancers under their thumb, to keep us in our place, which is the state of being cringingly subservient to them. These examples are legion, and then he says he's going to give you a few of his own, but we're not going to go into the actual examples. We're just going to cut the chase and get down to his main thesis of it all. As a general rule, we learn to act as we're taught to act. At the hallowed halls of comic book publishing, at the hallowed halls of the comic book publishing game, were places rife with spoiled children in positions of authority, and the bullied often become bullies. There's your kicker right there. Boom. It's a lesson taught to me in high school by one of my teachers, Mr. Longwell. On the last day of my freshman year, he said to the class, "Next year you'll be sophomores and not have to endure the hazing and abuse from upperclassmen. But you know who always dishes out the most hazing to the freshmen? It's the sophomores, getting revenge for how they were treated." The next context was, please keep that in mind and maybe consider acting better than that. But of course, some of the bullied became bullies, in an inalterable part of human nature. Let's have an example. In one of those Marvel behind-the-scenes specials on the Disney Channel, we saw a longtime comic scribe, Dan Slott, absolutely humiliated on camera by his editor, whose name I believe is Anonymous Nobody. Actually, it's Tom Brevoort. I'm not willing to rewatch a thing in order to get the fellow's name. Yeah, it's Tom Brevoort. That's who he's talking about. Who also is a bully and an asshole. And of course, Dan Slott is notorious for how badly he treats his readers because those who are trained to be bullies don't abuse the ones who bullied or bully, since they seem to still be ongoing who bullied them, since they seem to be ongoing, they bully the next ones down the line. It's all about the law of fecal gravity. That's my theory. It doesn't encompass everyone, because not everyone becomes a bully, no matter how badly they were treated and continue to be. Most have more character than that, but some do. And in an environment of stunted children ruling by fiat and tantrum, it's little wonder some continue to be stunted children who lash out by fiat and tantrum. But why does it seem so more prominent now? I can think of two reasons. First, those who can leave the screaming halls of grown children terror now have ways to do so without sacrificing their careers to do it. Think of Substack, crowdfunding, and a more healthy pantheon of independent publishing houses, which I would say is manga. There are actually those scrappy young contender outfits out there who are trying to treat freelancers well as an inducement to leaving the big two to come over to their shop. That leaves the big two publishing houses more firmly composed of the stunted tantrum monsters without leaving the influence of the still sane and modestly mature. And the second reason is social media. In the past, the children terrors among the writers and artists in comics could only take out their ire on readers in small doses at conventions or store signings and such. Now one can reach thousands at a time, day in and day out. And one thing bullies will always do is bully wherever they can. But the same social media is also the mechanism that allows those now set upon readers, critics, and until now they were innocent bystanders, to fight back. And that drives the bullies apeshit, over the top, even into uncontrollable rage land. The rot is deep. This has been the culture in comics for decades, so it won't end soon. Remember, even after the rot had a long set in, it still took Rome 500 years to fall. This will be with us for some time to come. Of course, that's assuming my theory and observations are correct. I could be way off the mark, except I don't think he is. I think this is, first of all, it's beautifully written. You know, which Bill Willingham is a really great writer. I've read some of his stuff. It's good stuff. But I think he is definitely onto something with this, because that is what they're doing. These creators, they're bullying the readers. They're bullying the audience. They're bullying the paying customers. And as he says, you know, now with social media, it's there for all to see. It's not like just somebody telling a story from a convention that nobody else saw except the person who suffered it. This is now happening every day, live, all over the internet, for everyone to see. You know, the clips I've shown you, you know, today, those clipped, you know, articles and those clipped, you know, tweets and things. That's all them. That's all them doing it. There it is, right there. You see, this is an ability that we have now that we didn't have before. And it angers them even more, because now they behave badly, and now it's exposed. You know, before it was kind of like in the shadows, hidden away. You didn't really know about it. Now you do, and they don't like that. And again, this is where the repercussions come in. This is why sales are down. This is why bankable names aren't bankable anymore. This is why comic shops are closing. This is why the publishers are having to try to squash rumors about we're going to end publishing. This is why all those things are happening. And it was almost a foregone conclusion that would be the case. But I fully believe that Bill Willingham has hit on, if not the core of the problem, at least one of the main tenets to it. Because, you know, these people, again, you add in their egotism and narcissistic tendencies, along with the bullying, along with an easy access to spreading that stuff around. What else can you expect? So no, I don't think you're way off the mark there, Bill Willingham. I think, in fact, you're closer to the center of the target than anybody, including the what did he call them? The stunted tantrum monsters would ever want to have to say that you are, that you're so close to the truth.